And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a 2 for Tuesday. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, dude. Obviously, having a good time here on the Tuesday. Stoked to be here in studio. Sun's poking out today, it seems, which is nice because, yesterday was pretty doom and gloom for sure, dude. But hey, gonna talk about some Mets, some Yankees, some baseball.
Kev Dew,
national
getting a shout
championship,
out
dude.
on
Kev
DNR.
Dew talking to Rick during the show, dude.
Yeah.
That is pretty sick. Shout out to Kev Dew.
No, he always said, I know Rick like that. He always does say that. So, I think that was good justification on Kev Dew's part. You get that with his points.
Exactly, dude. Seems like he's telling the truth here. It's very nice, dude. Well, Rick's a great guy too. And yes, they chat up, dude. They chat it up, man.
Oh man, that was good to hear. No, it was funny too because I forgot. I don't know if Rick was calling him Kevin or Kev or something, and then Dave's like, "Oh, Kev Dew?
Yeah,
I love Kev Dew.
I love Kev Dew. People like Kev Dew, dude.
Yeah.
I like
Some people
Kev
think
Dew.
he could take it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know, but it's interesting. I saw by the pre-show comments. I don't think Michael Butka could take. What does it even mean? Florida winning their third national championship last night, but Ian Eagle on the call. And how about this? I don't know if you saw this, Tony, on the broadcast. Jim Nantz in the crowd,
I did see
Houston
that.
alum sitting with the fans. So I think that's one thing that, Michael Butka, probably should take into perspective is the fact that Nantz, wanted to call it a career on the NCAA tournament, give him more time with the family. And he is friends with Ian Eagle. And I know he's been nothing but complimentary of him. So I think that's something that he could, possibly, consider.
I don't think he's changing his mind,
but he should though, because that's what he wants. Yeah. And why not let the pipes be fresh for Thursday Augusta National?
No, absolutely, dude. That is the priority, no doubt. But yeah, let's get to Michael's comments. As he says, didn't even pay attention to the national championship game, but Florida refused to lose. Which Nance was calling in #Ideal sucks. The deal here. But in any case, he's hyped for tomorrow night. Luka returns to Dallas as a Laker, dude. Who would have thought this would have ever happened? That trade still makes no sense to me, but I love that he says #Luka Lakers 2 days away from my buddy. Until my buddy is back, boy, will I be happy. I do think Scotty will take the Masters with Nance on the call, dude.
3 and 4 years. That would be. I keep saying this, but I think that would be the first time ever.
You do keep saying that. I haven't fact checked. I assumed you were right
for the 89th edition,
right? Not
of
the
this
90th,
Masters tournament.
But yeah, I can double check there. And then Ernie comes here with a big year. Josh B says, yo, fam, what is good? John Pollock in here. Oh, baby. Is it a good day when the Tigers play, he says.
We'll get you today, buddy. Don't worry. I know odds are against it. Yankees plus 140. Scubal on the mound versus
good.
Carrasco. But come on. Got to do it.
Michael Buckdown, I'm grateful for Nico every second of the day. Says Michael. He also says, I was like, why aren't you calling the game, Nance? Come on, Jim. Nico needs a statue outside of Staples Center. He says, my mother says, hi, fellas. Good morning, Mom. She's on her way to work. I'm probably at work, actually, already. It's Tuesday.
Good morning.
O'clock. And John Boggle says, okay, bud, we should see,
doing that now?
Dude. Okay, bud.
No, obviously, Vegas knows. The odds are stacked against us. Left-hander on the mound doesn't help. You struggle against Heaney. What do you do against Scubal? Yeah. But as
Carrasco,
John Sterling would say, that's why they play the game. So
would you rather have Carrasco or Holmes on the mound tonight?
Carrasco. Clay Holmes as a Yankee? Come on. Last couple of years. Big spot. What's he doing? not succeeding.
I don't know. Carrasco.
And we need some length. Carrasco, I know, can give us 5 or 6
Carrasco
innings.
was a Met last couple
Holmes,
years.
I don't know. Walking the park, not getting through 5. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts there.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
And what do you think Michael Bucket means that Gary Cohn is hilarious? I don't see him as a hilarious. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think that would be the right adjective. No.
Gary Cohn. I mean, he's a funny guy.
But I don't know.
And first of all, we know what you think.
No, but I'm saying, but I'm not talking about how he
you
sounds.
are.
But no, come on. You would not. He's not like somebody you would. That's not the first thing you think of when you think of Gary Cohn. Is funny.
No, I guess you're right on that. Yes, it's not the first thing I think of, but he is funny. He has his moments, and he has his dumb, old man dad jokes for sure. But I don't know if Michael Buckner was tuning into the Mets broadcast or whatever. But John Pollock's umpires were horrible yesterday in the Yankees game, which is interesting because I feel like the home plate umpire was not good in the Mets game either. But what's the deal with the umpires not good yesterday?
Yeah, some missed calls. And we'll get into it. But still no excuse there. But nevertheless, there were definitely some missed calls and, indirectly leading to a 3-run homer, which, like I said, we'll get to. The voice in the calls take Gary to Cancun. So I kind of think like he's saying this almost in support of what I'm saying, no? Because like the hilarious when we did it, because I feel like he's saying it because of the comparison we did at the Horseshoe.
I think he likes Gary Cohn.
He said, he's saying he's better than an Eagle, but he would say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a comparison. Now I can't think of one on the spot, but he would say Salicata is better than an Eagle, and that's just not true.
It always comes back to Salicata, dude.
Because when I think of the doldrums of announcing, I think Salicata.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
But anyhow, we'll lead off with the final college basketball game of the year.
Finally,
and it was a doozy. Now, how much of this game did you get to watch?
Literally fell asleep with the last 2 minutes going on.
Wow. So similar circumstances as me. Yeah. Having that Florida ticket, I was routed to wake up to a victory here. But watching the first half, seemed like Florida was in trouble. I know they only trailed by 3, but I think everybody had that common sentiment. Wow, they were lucky that they were only down 3. A lot of missed shots. I think they missed their first 6 3-pointer shots. Clayton didn't even have a field goal till the second half, Tony.
Ridiculous.
After dominating, that semifinal game. But, down the stretch, Florida, was able to capitalize here. And I think the biggest reason why, they end up winning this game, because, Clayton got it going a little bit. This is a game that they trailed by double digits at one point, had a 12-point deficit. But Will Richard, the senior guard, I think really kept them in first half. He had a bunch of big shots when they were really struggling to score. So I think that was key until later in the game when, Clayton could get it going. But it was just shocking to see the way Houston, had dominated most of this game, falling apart late and having that, last second opportunity there where Clayton, steps up, plays some defense, and they ended up turning it over and losing the game. And, they obviously, if they had made a 3-pointer, they win this game by 1. They don't. So, a 6th consecutive season where they make at least the Sweet 16 does not end in a championship. So Kelvin Sampson does not become the oldest coach to win a title, but the Florida Gators coach becomes the youngest since 1983, in Jim Valvano.
Yes, Jimmy.
So I think that was pretty cool to see. It had been a while for the Gators, 18 years since their last championship, but Todd Golden, leads them to one at age 39. I think it's just impressive stuff, coming over from San Francisco, had a losing record his first year at Florida before losing in the first round of Colorado last year. So I think a pretty, impressive turnaround nevertheless here for Florida.
Yeah, dude, it was really impressive. And kind of like you said before the show, kind of followed, the script we were kind of laying down, the script that Florida kind of laid down, I feel like all March, all tournament, whatever. And I guess maybe even all year. I wasn't really following them during the regular season here, but in any case, there was obviously a big comeback there. It was kind of interesting, dude. kind of to your point, I mean, that first half, dude, the first like 10 minutes of the first half was like kind of outrageous in the sense where I think Florida was like 0 for 6 or 0 for 8 from 3. And then Houston was either the opposite. They were whatever. It was vice versa with that. They were 0 for 6 and 0 for 8 from 3. It was like 0 for 13 for both teams starting out from 3. And they kept shooting threes like quite often, dude. So I was like, it's kind of wild to start this game out at such a hectic, like fast paced, like type of play. Because you kind of would think maybe like teams would feel each other out a little bit, especially Houston being so highly defensive and physical, whatever. And it was tough. I guess maybe early on, to your point too, it did seem like Florida would have been in trouble. It seemed like they were really struggling to get, their defensive rebounds. It seemed like Houston was getting the offensive rebounds a lot. It took what that big dude, who's their big dude, Condon.
Yeah,
he was like battling
in the beginning.
Yeah,
he was
dude.
big too. I forgot to mention him.
Dude.
He had some putback dunks.
Yeah, exactly. And then he kind of found his way. Even getting like the connection between him and Clayton was kind of cool. A lot of times they do the old teardrop pass in the basket and he's open under the hoop, whatever, which obviously kept Florida in the game for the first half here. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this was kind of Houston's game to lose, dude. I mean, they had I don't know. People can put it at the referees. I guess maybe even speaking of officiating from the Yankee game too. I mean, which was kind of interesting because I feel like the refs that first half did let them play a lot. Again, maybe because they knew Houston would be so physical, they were letting them play. I mean, there was a lot of a lot of physicality, players bumping into each other, fights for the ball, and they were just kind of, no whistles were really being blown in that first half a lot. And then I think you kind of saw the refs, I guess officiate a little differently in the second half. I don't know if they made an adjustment intentionally or whatever, but it was interesting the fact that Houston seemed to be pulling away with them. They were up by 10 at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then 12. And then a couple back-to-back fouls gave Florida some momentum. They're hitting their shots. Obviously, Clayton started to go off in the second half a little bit more. I forget what he didn't have a ton. What do you have?
No, he had 11 points, 7
dude.
assists, and 5 rebounds, but obviously a key defensive stop there at the end.
Yeah, obviously huge. And again, a lot of those points came in that second half too, so he did make an impact. But it was tough, dude, because I feel like, Sharp kind of blew it a little bit. I think, obviously by this time they blew their lead. That Florida was up by 2, I think, at this point with 20 seconds left, and Sharp turns the ball over. And then, of course, we know eventually they get the ball back, and then Sharp doesn't even get a shot off, dude.
Yeah.
So I think Houston, I don't know, man. They could have obviously, 1, held their lead, 2, tied this game at the very least, and potentially won. But they kind of really fumbled it down the stretch of this game. Very unfortunate, obviously. You feel bad for them, but I would say great win for the Gators. I mean, obviously, you can say what I said about the refs. I mean, at the end of the day, they could have tied. Houston could have tied it up. Houston could have won. So
yeah, and you don't expect that with some veterans on this team.
Yeah.
And the way they had played all tournament, but it just kind of interesting. I feel like I can't come up with you're always talking parallel and comparison, but to any sport where you've seen a team kind of have the same thing where they're down a decent margin almost every game in their run to winning a championship.
No.
Right? I
mean,
never. Usually that catches up to a team.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I can't even think of anything either. The Giants, maybe, were the Giants down in postseason games? I mean, I don't even.
You're saying the football Giants?
Yeah, New York Giants. Yeah. Maybe the only thing I can think of, maybe they were trash. I don't know, dude.
But I feel like that was different, and I'm trying to think though in those games against the Patriots. I mean, if they were down, it's not like they were down by
right. No, yeah, it wasn't
double digits or something.
No. It's always tough doing the cross sport comparisons.
Yeah. For a second, I thought you were talking San Francisco Giants.
No,
I still feel like in modern day, the most forgotten about 3 and 5 years ever.
Yeah,
no one even thinks it doesn't even cross the radar. I mean, West Coast thing.
I was gonna ask that. Maybe it is a West Coast thing, but then again, I mean, at this point, I mean, the Giants. I wouldn't say they're irrelevant necessarily. But when you think of how the firepower, the star power on the Padres and the Dodgers, it's like, I mean, you talk about the Mets playing little brother to the Yankees. I mean, I think the Giants feel over there,
and then throw in the Diamondbacks, who just were in the World Series 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely did.
So kind of interesting. I think the biggest surprise for me too, if you would have told me, Clayton doesn't make a field goal in the first half, and only has 11 points. I mean, you would think no way that Florida wins. But they did get, like we talked about, the big contributions from Will Richard, who besides the 18 points had 8 rebounds. As well as Alex Condon, the big man, 4 steals to go along with 12 rebounds. 7 rebounds in those 12 points. So, the role players playing big. And how about both teams shooting terrible? Florida, 21 of 53, 39.6, 25% from beyond the arc. And Houston, even worse, 34.8%, 24% from three-point range, 6 of 25. And I think that always goes back to, they say, playing in these big football-like stadiums. I know the Alamo Dome hosted the Spurs for a while, but they've had football there as well. It's a bigger arena. The sightlines are just not the same, and the players have a tough time adjusting.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't hear that. So
yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
Going back for a while.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense why the threes were off to start off.
But then it's one of those money things. You're not going to put in a smaller venue.
Oh, no,
because then they'll lose revenue. But what were you going to ask?
The place was pretty packed, though. Obviously, student sections, Houston, I'm sure, flying their
close
fans.
proximity.
Yeah, for sure. And then what was I going to ask? Oh, I saw Rick and Dave were talking about this, that on that final play when Sharp kind of jumped and kind of, I guess, fake shot the ball so he wouldn't, whatever. Apparently some guy called in and was saying how he could have picked that ball up because he never dribbled in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty wild because that whole scene was wild.
Yeah, you don't usually see that.
You really don't see that very often. Why? Obviously time was expiring, which is probably why I felt like he needed to toss up a shot, but he probably had some more time than maybe he thought. And again, it's if you knew you probably should have known you could pick up that ball if that is the case.
Yeah. No, I can't think.
You didn't get a shot off, dude.
With the parallel. I can't think of
no parallels, dude.
Yeah,
it's an outlier, as they say, Brian.
So kind of crazy stuff.
Crazy, woohoo!
And I guess we did get a couple more comments in here.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to sift through some of this Michael Buckta stuff. Yeah, he wants Iron Eagle to be his water boy. John Pollock says, "I why Houston didn't go for 2 and force the OT." I will say, Florida had some stout defense in that instance.
Stout.
No, it was kind of. They were all over Houston, dude. They couldn't get it past the perimeter. But obviously, Houston, you would expect drop a different play. Drop something better on the inbound there. Because damn, dude, it's definitely tough loss for them. But hey, man, that's why it's March Madness. And did anyone have Florida winning ever out there? You think?
I think so.
Really?
I think on the ESPN brackets they might have been second most popular champion. I think it's just because they're not close to home. We're thinking about UConn or Duke, just because Duke is a big national name, but they were up there on one of the better teams. And the way they went through the gauntlet of the SEC, winning the SEC tournament, I think that was why.
Oh.
Right?
That
makes sense. Everybody considered that the best conference. What was it? 14 teams that were in the tournament. Obviously, you had 2 make the Final Four.
Yeah.
So that's why. But what was your thoughts though overall on the tournament? Maybe beat expectations for you a little bit, or
yeah, I would think so. I think the national championship certainly was a great game, and honestly, the Final Four. Both games were close. They're going to come from behinds. Which is great, and I think the tournament in general was good. Seeing Duke lose was crazy. Seeing UConn get knocked out, even though no one expected a lot from them necessarily, but even seeing St. John's getting knocked out too earlier on, that's crazy. A couple upsets, the McNeese, whatever, Texas Tech, whatever, dude. It was all good. I think that because a lot of the talk was about how there was all ones in the Final Four, and there wasn't really that huge Cinderella run necessarily. But honestly, I think that didn't really affect. Maybe affect the build up to the game, the storylines of the games. But watching the game, I think we saw the best possible basketball we could see out of the NCAA here in March. So
yeah, because I think that's the trade off. You get when you don't have any of the upsets, but then you get the big power schools in the Final Four. I think that's why we had 3 great games here in the Final Four.
Yeah,
so definitely, a good trade off. And John Pollock says 6 out of 10. I'm still salty about how we lost to Arkansas.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah,
he's having a good time about it.
But speaking of a good time, I'd say it would be a good one to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Drop it. Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. John Pollock hyped for the MLB here. Oh, here we go. He says, well, we're starting off with some Mets talk because obviously they're the better New York team here. But Brian had to step out for a phone call, so we'll be talking Yankees afterwards. All right, but the Mets, let me just pull up the score here. Bang! Beat the Marlins yesterday 2-0, baby. And honestly, it was a freaking nail biter. It was a great game. Very interesting, obviously, here as the Mets, who are playing the Marlins again here at home now, and we get Kadai Senga, who again gets to rip through the Marlins lineup here, and he had a pretty solid outing. All right, he had 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, no earned runs, so it was pretty solid there. It was interesting because his first time through the Marlins, he was very effective with his ghost forkball. And it's like, obviously, lineups adjust, run tape, make those adjustments, maybe be more patient at the plate. And of course, Kadai, we've seen sometimes be a little inconsistent, but I don't know. I think he had a great outing. I know the 5 innings pitched doesn't look great, but he only threw 77 pitches. I think Mendoza is keeping him on a really, really tight leash, in my opinion. So, obviously I think that's why I think maybe Kadai could have went out there for the 6th. In any case, let me walk through, let's see how we got here. Like I was saying too, I guess earlier on, maybe Kadai not really having some of his stuff. First inning, gives up a leadoff single and then walks Stowers. So Edwards gets a single, Stowers walks. So immediately, okay, some of these batters may be a little more keen to what Kadai is doing. Kadai actually started a lot of them off with throwing his fastball, excuse me. And that's what kind of led to Stowers getting walked. He didn't really locate the fastball right away. And then of course, Lopez grounds out to fielder's choice. Stowers out at second, Edwards goes to third. So you have runners on first and third. Okay. They will play runner on third base, 2 outs. All right. Walks Mervis. So runners at the corners, dude, which is not great. But then Wagaman grounds out, whatever, the 4-seamer chopped to, I want to say it was to Vientos. But in any case, Senga just wasn't really as dominant as his first start against Miami. Again,
working in and out of trouble early.
Early, exactly.
2 on in the first, right?
2 on in the first.
Yeah.
Got lucky. Sanger throughout Lopez at second too, so that got him
every time you say Sanger, I think it's like a nickname for Kodai Senga.
Oh, really?
But I know it's not. It just reminds
it does.
me of
You
that.
could imagine the broadcast, Keith.
Making jokes?
Yeah, Sanger catching Senga.
He really does say that.
We said that at the top, yeah, but he obviously didn't like hammer.
But what I would say is I don't find him funny, but I would understand more so if Michael Bucket said Keith Hernandez is funny, because I feel like he jokes around more than Gary Cohen.
He definitely does, yeah. Keith. That's
good
I would
parallel,
think, yes, dude. Yes, that's a good parallel, dude. In any case, we had Beloso come in, who I think did JD commented about like his line career against the Mets, right? Beloso,
yes.
In any case, you do have Lindor gets a leadoff single here. By the way. 4th game in a row, Lindor has a leadoff hit, so which is great, dude. So obviously killing it in the leadoff spot here.
3 hits yesterday?
That's right.
Yeah,
I think so.
Watching.
You are watching, which is great. I'm glad you're paying attention.
Pooch
here.
Goes,
okay.
Dude, why do you have the Mets game? Are you watching like rooting for them to lose?
Oh my God, were you?
Well, I just said, we talk about the Mets every day, so I gotta see what's going on.
Yeah, of course, dude. But were you rooting for them to lose?
I wasn't really. I was
different.
I was just watching the game. Yeah.
Okay. Right, fine. But obviously nothing really comes of it in the bottom of the first. You don't get any scoring till the bottom of the third. And again, Kadai, again, the forkball wasn't hitting. He was not getting the whiff rate on the forkball this time around. Again, Miami, the lineup, they were keen to it, and they were just patiently waiting. And I feel like, again, Kadai maybe didn't really have it necessarily as much as his first outing against Miami because, I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like he was starting off a lot of the Miami hitters with forkballs in the zone. Okay. And he was getting and they had to swing because they could see it's in the zone, but they were just swinging and missing. But this time he was throwing the forkball and it was breaking outside the zone. So they were just sitting there and then they were throwing balls, So I don't know. He didn't really, I don't know, maybe if he didn't have enough confidence in it or maybe he just wasn't locating it as well, but he wasn't really throwing those forkballs in the zone. And that's what gets batters to swing. It's just the break is too much for them. It's too sharp on that back end, and the ball is in the zone, but they just miss it. And then I think you can start setting them up with throwing it outside the zone, and they'd start go fishing, and then you'd be as dominant in terms of strikeouts against Miami like you were the first time around. But in any case, I mean, he does well enough. As I said, bottom of the third here. Once again, we get Lindor bunting down the third base line. The bunt, dude, to lead off this inning. So he gets an infield single right there and a bunt, which of that. And then Soto ropes a double to left field. And Lindor goes around the bags, sliding it at home. Throw was a little late here. Wasn't really able to make a play, Miami. But just like that, RBI single. And I mean, that's, we talk about Soto, being disappointing, in terms of having that big moment as a Met. This was his, I think, 10th hit of the season, his 4th double already. He is batting 280. I think slugging somewhere in the 480 range.
You think they have him start bunting soon?
Soto?
Just like a push bunt, like if it's kind of there, just to kind of keep accelerating things, no?
Is that like a joke right now? Are you trying to be like facetious or something?
No, but I will say, I know you're going to say no, but it does seem like a question you would ask me.
I don't know, dude.
You don't think you've asked a similar question?
Have I? What's the parallel, Brian? Tell me.
You think Judge is going to start bunting?
I never asked that. I never, ever asked that, dude.
Wait, what do you think, dude?
And no, I don't think Soto will start punting. I don't think he's fast enough to be punting, to be honest.
Well,
dude.
You know what the problem is? They're not going to shift him because he hits all fields.
Yeah. So in any case, dude, Soto, yes, still has yet to have that big Met moment, but these are the things we're getting for now. Which again, I mean, hey, if that's what he's doing right now, that's fine. You still have to stay confident that the power, the home runs, the big walk-off hits and stuff like that will come.
Okay, I mean, at least he's on top of his jumping jacks in right field to start the game. He does always do that to start, though.
Yeah,
we were just talking about it with JD yesterday.
That's good. Does that bother you now?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you think that's just for stretching, or?
I think it is to stay warm. Honestly,
yeah.
Jumping jacks are a good exercise.
Cold yesterday. Cold,
freezing.
Yeah,
freezing yesterday.
Yeah, it would be nice to be at the game and be in a heated suite.
Yeah, dude. That would
be food and drink.
That would be nice, dude. So just like that.
If we got the invite, if his family wasn't using, I'd go for that.
I would love that, dude.
Bring the TCA, right?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Kev do. So we're up 1-0, just like that. Dude, Kadai kind of works his way through, obviously, as the Mets do eventually shut out here. It's interesting because now, we go to the top of the 5th here, where Kadai goes 3 up, 3 down. And again, has some good defense behind him, which is great because Paulie gives up a single. He gives up a single to Paulie, lead off here of the inning. So you think, okay, this is the 5th inning. He's, been laboring through 4 almost. Leadoff hit, that's never good. Fortes grounds out double play. And again, I feel like that the defense now behind these pitchers, after the first 2 series has been much better. I mean, obviously, we've seen Lindor and Acuna, failing at turning double plays, making errors in the field. I think we're starting to see that this infield, specifically the middle infield, is getting their timing down a little bit better in terms of turning those quick double plays, which is great. I mean, Marlins do have a young, fast team. So that was obviously awesome. And then Kadai ends out the inning by striking out Edwards, which I think was on it was the forkball, which again was great. They was able to locate that, hammering the fastball as well. I mean, I think for Kadai too, that's also a good, secondary pitch to use for a strikeout. Cause I think that, batters do get fooled, maybe thinking there's a forkball coming or off speed. And when he locates that fastball, and it's hitting like 95, I mean, it's pretty lethal, And that ended his inning and ended his night, which I thought was pretty interesting. His final line, 5 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, only 77 pitches thrown. So again, I was saying before, bro, I think, maybe Mendoza keeping him on a short leash, because I feel like he could have gone out for the 6th. Which is, whatever. It's obviously you still win. You're keeping Kadai kind of somewhat, warmed up, healthy, rested, whatever. So in any case, we go top of the 6th. Danny Young comes in. Bullpen, a phenomenal job so far. And I think I saw some stat. I think the Mets right now have one of the lowest ERA in the NL as a pitching staff, starters and bullpen. Bullpen comes in and we use 3 guys. What was it? Young, it was Stanek and Buteau, right? They throw 4 innings combined, only 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. So your bullpen, those 3 pitchers doing just as well as your starter, doing the job exactly, which has been great, I feel like, for the Mets. You love to see that. And we do get some late night scoring here in the bottom of the 8th here. Vientos leadoff walk. You had Jose Siri coming in pinch run for Vientos. Who Siri eventually steals second on a Winker strikeout. Taylor ropes a single to center, scores Siri, makes it 2-0. Mendoza, great pinch runner right there. You love to see it. It's exactly what got the job done. We got Areen Stanek sighting here in the 9th, dude. 3 up, 3 down for him. His fastball was, I think, 98 miles an hour on his fastball. He gets his first save as a Met. Obviously, Stanek, who came over from
Houston?
The Stros.
I mean, I know he was at Houston at one point, but what?
I feel like he's on the Dodgers. No,
it
wasn't Milwaukee.
It was Seattle.
The Mariners.
Yep.
Okay.
6.06 ERA in the regular season for the Mets last year, but then the postseason legend, 3.38 innings.
That's right, dude. Yeah, killed in the postseason. They did say that in the broadcast. He has 11 career saves, 7 of them last year with the Mariners. Obviously, first one with the Met last night. And again, throwing 98 miles per hour. I mean,
is that a career high or
no? He threw that hard last year.
It was just command. It probably spin. I'm guessing, right?
Yes, the spin rate, dude.
Yeah, the spin doctor.
As they say. So that was great to see out of your bullpen. Honestly, really phenomenal. I think play. I know it's Miami. I know you didn't hit very well.
Well, 9 hits, but it's just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. That's
which
really
seems to be a problem over the first few series here is bringing those runners in the situations, which is tough because I feel like, I mean, you look at this and you kind of throw out that stat line there. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like no one, like honestly, a lot of times like Lindor does get on and then so doesn't really advance him. Obviously, this game was a little bit different, but you look at your lineup here. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, all combining there for 7 hits. Right, so 7 of your 9 hits came from your first 3 batters, and they weren't home runs. So like Lindor's on the base, Soto's on the base, Alonso's on the base.
2 for 20. Everyone else
not good.
Yeah.
So like, again, Nimmo really hasn't come out this
Taylor
year.
got all the 2 hits.
And Taylor, who obviously bottom half of your lineup here, not really necessarily seeing Lindor, Soto, Alonso on base. Taylor comes in, plays center here. For the first time in I don't know, probably this year, I think, in the regular season. Obviously contributing, which is great. But like you said, I mean, you're just runners in scoring position. You're not really scoring. And right now, no one is hitting, home runs necessarily. I mean, Pete's been one, obviously.
Had that, double yesterday later on?
Yeah, double later on yesterday. Yeah. A double today as well. Oh, yes. Sorry.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Today, dude. We'll have a double today, dude.
It's a prop bet.
It should be because he's going to fucking hit it, dude.
Take the dinger instead.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You'd rather go double, really? I don't know. He just seems more like a home run double type of guy.
Yeah, true. I guess so. Maybe it's kind of weird. Speaking of today, game moved up to 4:10.
Yeah, seems like that's a common theme around Major League Baseball after the Yankees and Tigers series.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, it is pretty cold. I mean, I saw Detroit; it was fucking snowing out there, which is pretty wild to see. And obviously, it's still affecting the Mets as well, affecting us here. Because I believe there's gonna be gusts of wind. Temperature feel like would be like 25 degrees or something, which is pretty wild. But again, as we're seeing Miami here for the next couple of days, we're also getting a rematch here. Clay Holmes against Gillespie.
Okay.
Literally pitched against each other again. I don't know, what was it, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, whatever it was, or 6 games ago. So it's pretty interesting to see Holmes a second chance, just like Kadai at this lineup. And it's going to be interesting because I feel like, Holmes' line for today, for last game against Miami, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, only 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, threw 85 pitches over those 4 2/3. And, I know there's some Yankee fans out there that watch the show and that are obviously anti-Clay Holmes because of, how he played with the Yankees, which is fine. But, obviously maybe I wasn't as privy as to watching every at-bat, every stuff that he had when he was on the Yankees.
Well, 0 starts.
Or any outing, I should say, out of the pen or whatever. And obviously I've seen some, we've talked about it, the big mistakes, whatever. And maybe it is a little different, the fact that he is starting here. But I feel like that start, the 4 2/3, 85 pitches thrown. I mean, we talked about the middle infield right now gelling, turning double plays. They were the opposite in that series. Okay.
Right.
That infield during that game gave up 4 infield hits, had 2 errors that scored runs, mind you, and turned no double plays. Was not able to turn 1 double play and had the opportunities to. So they literally gave Clay Holmes absolutely no help. All right. And again, 4 infield hits. I mean, what type of Clay Holmes, type of pitcher he is. Like, he's, pitching for contact, the sinker, inducing ground balls. If he doesn't have an infield he can trust to make outs, I mean, he's going to be useless. It's just not his game, So, the errors, the mistakes in the field, I think will not happen this game. I think he can easily go 6, I mean, at the very least 5, right? And he would have 20 less pitches thrown come 5 innings, and I would imagine that changeup, that sinker, I mean, again, with all that kind of gelling, as long as he's locating it, your infield is turning with double plays, making those infield plays, okay, not extending innings, not dogging you. I mean, he's going to be absolutely dominant. I could see, honestly, another scenario where the starter is absolutely clean through 6 or something like that. Maybe gives up 1. Maybe the bullpen gives up 1. But, I mean, the Mets could easily, put up 5, give up 2, and they win this game 5-2. I mean, I think you're going to see, maybe Soto hopefully can continue his hits, continue hitting well, whether it be home runs or not. Lindor maybe turns this into a 5-game, leadoff hit streak here. That would be great. And not for nothing, I mean, Alonso's been killing. He's batting .314 in the year. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. Brian mentioned Lindor with the 3 hits. Obviously, top half of your lineup is doing well, but you need Nimmo and Vientos to get going. I mean, that's really what it comes down to here. And those are 2 guys. I mean, Vientos, you definitely would expect to be hitting way better now. He's batting .114. He had 3 walks yesterday, 0 for 1. So I guess he's working those walks. But damn, dude, I mean, you got to get some hits here, all right? And obviously, Winker, the DH position, you would expect him to be a little bit better. But if Taylor's starting again, I mean, that's fine. And then, bottom half of your lineup here, or bottom 2, I should say, Acuna and Senger. I mean, you're not expecting much out of them. I guess if Acuna would heat up a little bit. But it's tough, dude. I mean, obviously you want to see more hitting, more situational hitting, specifically with runners in scoring position, where we were 0 for 10, right, yesterday? So you got to figure that out, dude. And, let's get to some comments here before we move on here. John Pollock says, damn, I got to wait until September for the Tigers to play the Mets. JD says, your thoughts on the assistant Detroit Tigers GM resigns, but the team can fire him over alleged lewd photos, dude. What sickle does that? That's pretty wild. I was not aware of that. But obviously, I mean, the guy knows he's finished. So he probably just was trying to, seem like a guy who has some type of conscience, even though he doesn't, obviously, the lewd photos. I don't know what the scenario was, if it was just him sending unwanted lewd photos or, talking about lewd photos in the office space, because that can't be good. But that's pretty wild there. Super Vix says, I'm glad the Mets are the best team in New York. Thank you. Derpy says, fellas, we made it. Glorious week of the year of the Al for golf, year for golf. Glorious week. I don't know, Augusta, whatever, dude. But it is. It's going to be sweet tomorrow. I'm stoked to preview the Masters tomorrow. Nelson in the house says good morning. Donna says good morning. All is well. Good morning, Donna. Glad to have you aboard here. I know you missed us yesterday, which is fine. But definitely happy to have you back. But yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see what Clay Holmes does. Obviously, I think set up that scenario, the line from last outing against Miami, the fact that the defense is better. I think he will be better. And I mean, he hasn't really thrown necessarily a bad game yet, through 2 starts, right? Exactly. So, because, Houston opening day, it's tough, dude. I mean, I think, and not for nothing, I mean, even Brian said he never even started for the Yankees, hasn't started in like 9 seasons or 7 seasons, whatever it was. Dude, you're asking to be opening day starter. And I knew it over yesterday. He's not, whatever. But I think, in years past where we've seen, pitchers that you didn't expect to, like DeGrom or Verlander to start the year or even Scherzer, where you're throwing Chris Bassett as your opening day starter or something, or Max Scherzer as your opening day starter. The Mets have had to do this where they've asked, pitchers to do things that they're not necessarily used to doing. And I would say for the most part, I mean, Clay Holmes, not for nothing. I mean, against Miami, it was a win. All right. Win's a win. Is a win, Brian.
Is a win. And by the way, I heard, when I had to take a call for a second, JD in the building. Good to have him here again.
Of course.
And I did see, I just saw the article. I didn't really dive into it, but I guess it seems like, what's the guy's name that was on the Mets that he never took his position, but it was the same thing.
Scott, something. Zach Scott.
I think it's Zach Scott, right?
Yeah, I think so. The guy who was caught sleeping in his car after the dinner party, drunk.
Risty.
Yeah. Possibly, dude.
I thought that was part of it, no? Or no, it was just hammered. Oh, it was just the pictures. Just the pictures. I was thinking more Kellen Winslow. No, because this stuff has been out there. So we laugh, but people actually do these things.
Yes, people do these things.
And also, I know you already said this, but again, great to have Donna with us.
Yes,
as well.
Of course, dude.
And
Jay Bird as well.
And Jay Bird.
Who comments. Good win for the Metropolitans yesterday. Big fan of Jose Siri.
As you would say, is that facetious?
No. I think Jay Bird is on the Mets train this year. I mean, he's a Mets fan. I think he's sitting there at home. Certainly, I think he's watching these games. I think he's stoked for the game today.
Is he watching? Have you had conversations about this? He gets the Mets out there in Jersey?
Of course, yeah. They have SNY.
I think they don't. You're 100% sure they do?
Yeah.
Because because I'm asking because I guess it would be different, which doesn't make any sense. But Corey, who I didn't think lived that far from Jay, doesn't get the Yankees.
Where is he?
He's in Point Pleasant. It's definitely not that far from Asbury.
Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Yeah. It's definitely not that far.
That is kind of weird that they don't have the S, I guess.
You don't think Jay's legal cable or
maybe Stream East or something, possibly.
Stream East. He doesn't get it.
In any case, dude,
he says Hulu.
He's watching the games.
Hulu, but how would he?
Hulu is live sports.
No, it's live sports. So they don't have every Mets game.
They don't. I think that.
Or do you think he has the MLB package?
Yeah, he must.
I'm guessing that's the case. But
he's watching. He's rooting. He's cheering.
We'll see. We'll see if he gets through 162. It's a long season. He's never done it before. I'm just saying.
He's been a Jets fan his whole life, so it's
but baseball is a long season. I'm saying if you've never done the 162, you don't know what it's like till you do it. 180 days, 162 games is a lot.
It is a lot. Who has SNY? He says
Hulu has SNY, but I still don't understand that.
I guess you can pay for SNY through Hulu.
So it's like getting paying for the Gotham Sports app. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Anyway, speaking of the full 162, and I was talking about this with JD and everyone yesterday. It's just I just have a tough time. It's April, one game at a time. But off the disappointing loss to Pittsburgh on Sunday to have it yesterday, the game against the Tigers, a game where you felt like you should win. You got Rodon, they're good with Casey Mize. I mentioned how the right-hander.
That's right.
And unfortunately, the Yankees end up falling in as you mentioned, snowy Detroit. 6-2. And really early on, couldn't get anything going. In the first inning against Mize, they did have a leadoff walk for Rice, and then Goldschmidt reached on an error, but the other 3 batters with flyouts, and I was talking about this with JD yesterday too, especially in Detroit, and I know we did get 1 home run in this game, but it's it's cold, that Park is a monster, and I know, listen, you can't control every at bat, how exactly you're gonna hit a ball, but it's how are you not having more of a level approach because it seemed like they did hit a lot of high and deep fly balls that weren't going out. I mean, it's a cold day, big park, like I said. So that was just disappointing for me. Rodon had a 1-2-3 to start the game in the first. Yankees did go down 1-2-3 in the second. And then second inning, same thing for the Tigers, except they strike out twice. So Rodon looked good through the first 2 innings. And it's almost like it was a telltale sign that it wasn't going to be their day, because top of the third, after Oswaldo Cabrera strikes out to lead the inning, Ben Rice triples to center. And I was listening to this on the radio because I was about to go into LA Fitness. And I could not believe, with Ben Rice on third, Aaron Judge up, he gets caught leaning and picked off third. And it just, I was saying, like, it's like, are you thinking you're going to score on a pass ball? There's one out. Aaron Judge is up.
That's
like, why are you're thinking you're going to like scamper home on a ground ball? It's like Ben Rice is not fast. So it was just disappointing to hear Dave Sims make that call on the radio. So after that, Cody Bellinger, after Judge walks, Cody Bellinger lines out. So that was the end of the inning. Third inning is where we get into some trouble. I
just watched it. Sorry. It's picked off by the catcher, dude.
Yeah, that was tough.
Back pick.
But after Keith strikes out looking to start the third, Carlos Rodon, walks Rogers, but then Kreidler on a 3-2 pitch. It's clearly a strike. They call it a ball. So he ends up walking him. So you got, 2 on, 1 out. He strikes out Malloy, but then on a 1-2 pitch to Andy Ibanez, he gives up a 3-run homer on a changeup that just was not low enough in the zone. And it gives the Tigers a 3-0 lead, and that's all the offense they would need. And it just, like I said, it's touche, because it's like, listen, should have been a strikeout, should have been out of the inning. But at the same time, we've seen this with Carlos Rodon giving up these home runs. I mean, you just can't do it, especially when you're ahead in the count. You should be really giving the batter nothing good to hit. So that really killed the momentum. So they go into the fourth, down 3-0, go 1-2-3 in the fourth. Rodon himself has a 1-2-3 inning in the fourth. You're on to the fifth. And you get a little something going with 1 out. Trent Grisham is single, so he's been hot recently. Oswaldo Cabrera grounds out, moves Grisham up to second. Ben Rice works a walk. Aaron Judge with a single up the middle, so 3-1. But then Cody Bellinger strikes out. And we were talking about this with JD yesterday too, and I think they call them gators. But, there's just a lot of different stuff. You're covering your face and stuff. I was saying, because I noticed on the golf course, like, I can't hit a shot with even my hood on a sweatshirt up. Don't you think it's too much? Like, I feel like it would be. I don't know how you could, whether you're fielding or hitting, perform the same, having a lot of your face covered.
Yeah, I
right?
don't know. I don't understand it either.
This is football.
Yeah, I know, and it's not. I don't know. I mean, whatever. You can do it. You can do it, I guess, but I would think it's restricting breathing in your own hot breath to the whole game. But I mean, I guess if it's freezing out there, it's freezing. So what are you going to do? Right. So it was just surprising to see that. Yankees go down 1-2-3 in the sixth. Actually, no, I skipped ahead here. My bad. Fifth inning. They do end up giving 2 more runs. You had Oswaldo Cabrera boot a ball to start the inning, and then another walk for Rogers. Kreidler lays down a sac bunt. Luckily, Rodon just gets him. Paul Goldschmidt has been unbelievable defensively for the Yankees, playing first. But then he gives up a single to Malloy, which scores both of the base runners, 5-1. You get out of the inning after that, but too little too late. Nothing offensively in the sixth. Rodon is able to work around a Baez single in the sixth after he picks him off. So he gets through 6 innings. We go to the seventh. Austin Wells, a leadoff single. They finally, take Mize out of the game, but then Yankees unable to do anything. Oswaldo Cabrera gets robbed, hits a rope right up the middle, but off the pitcher's glove, slows it down, double play. So you go to the bottom of the seventh, down 5-1. Adam Ottavino relieves Rodon after a leadoff single. He ends up giving up another run on a fielder's choice, so 6-1 at that point. And then in the eighth, the Yankees, Bryce and Judge get out to start the inning. Bellinger reaching on an infield single, and then Paul Goldschmidt, so you got 2 on, 2 out, and Bellinger
was able to get a run in because of throwing error by the second baseman. So that makes it 6-2, but then Anthony Volpe not able to, get the hit, flying out. So that was kind of the theme of the game, not getting under, not hitting these rope ground balls, or line drives. 8th inning, Tim Hill comes in, and works around a single to retire the Tigers. So last licks, 9th inning, 1-2-3, 2 strikeouts, Wells and Cabrera in between. A Grisham pop out the third. Tommy Kahnle getting the last 3 outs for the Tigers. So disappointing loss here. Game 1 of this series against Detroit. And the biggest thing, I know a lot of people were disappointed in Rodon, but I felt like, the at-bats. I did not like the way the at-bats looked, and I understand it's tough conditions, but the Tigers are playing in these tough conditions. And listen, they only had 5 hits. You had 7, but they scored 6 runs off of theirs. But there just has to be better situational hitting. I think Jazz might lead the league in strikeouts. JD was talking about that yesterday. I believe it was 2 more strikeouts for him on the day. Yes, 2 more strikeouts. So just a little more patient, more of a contact oriented approach, I think would benefit them, especially today, going up against the reigning Cy Young Award winner in Tariq Skubal. So that's going to be a 1:10 first pitch. Cookie Carrasco on the hill for the Yankees. 7.36 ERA so far. Only 1 start, 1 relief appearance. Not much of a sample size just yet. But I think the key is, listen, most likely is he going to give up at least 3 runs, but hopefully give you 5 innings? Yes. It's the offense getting something going. And speaking of the offense, the lineup they have out for today, Goldschmidt leading off. At first, Ben Rice, DH, Aaron Judge, and right. You got Jazz at second, Volpe at short, Wells catching, Dominguez back in the lineup after off yesterday and left. Grisham in center and Oswald Peraza at third. So I liked it to get Peraza in there. They give Bellinger a day off. He, after a little bit of a hot start, he's kind of struggled the last few games. And I think against a tough lefty, that was the thought process there. But like I said, Carrasco is going to give up some runs here. So, you got to just, you got to just get some runs on the board yourself and be patient against Skubal. And like I said, more of a contact-oriented approach. There's a reason why there was only 1 home run yesterday. It's cold. It's a big ballpark. You're not going to hit him out. Aaron Judge maybe, but anybody else, I don't know. I just feel like being it's a big ballpark, you hit the ball in the gaps. You have speed on this team as well. Jazz could hit it inside the park home run. He doesn't need to hit it out.
You're right, dude. You're absolutely right. But not for nothing. The Yankees just haven't been doing that.
Right. But you got to adjust.
Look at all these games they've been winning. It's all home runs.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
You got to adjust based on the park.
You do have to adjust. Absolutely right. And the weather. it is situational. It's situational hitting. You don't have to hit a home run every time. In fact, sometimes hitting a dinger that's a solo home run, what does it really do sometimes?
You want to carry the momentum over.
Exactly. So not that I would be complaining if my team's hitting home runs, but obviously right now it's not working. You have to adjust, like Brian's saying. But, are they capable of doing that, you think? Like this lineup right now today?
They're going to.
Today.
We're not losing 3 in a row. 1 to the Tigers, 1 to the Pirates, 2 to the Tigers. Not happening. Not at my watch, okay? I just can't take it. And I don't know. Like I said, I know it's a long season, but it just, unfortunately, it just makes me irate, when they have games like this. Because there's a couple games recently. 3 of them, really. Because yesterday felt like an opportunity. Because Mize, I understand he had a good first start, but should be able to hit him. You just didn't get enough hits, and you didn't have good at-bats. And then the game, gets Arizona giving up the grand slam, Mark Leiter, and then, the game on Sunday. So those are 3 games. It would have been nice to get one of them. You don't. And now you have to beat the reigning Cy Young Award winner to avoid going on a 3-game losing streak. And again, even if they do, what is it really going to say about the end of the season? Probably it's not going to have an impact on it, but I just want the win, and that's it. So, would you say your mother, using one of your favorite terms, being a little facetious here, Tony?
I would say so. Wishful, Brian. I think
it's not
my
like
mother is. My mother is.
We're facing, I don't know, any example you want. Maybe the 0-1 Seattle Mariners regular season. It's not like we're facing that. We could beat the Tigers.
Yes.
Like, listen, Skubal is good. But I think, we're going to hit. So it's not wishful, Mary. Okay.
John Pollock thinks so. He says 4-1 Tigers
course he's
today.
gonna say that. Anyway, my kind of thought here, Carrasco, maybe 5 1/3. Let's say 3 earned, 6 strikeouts, bullpen flawless after that. And I think, it's somehow you get, you kind of work the count against Skubal, maybe get 2 off him, get the pitch count up, a little earlier, and then he has to leave before the 6 innings over. And then you get a couple off the bullpen. And I think you win 5-3. And let's get going, Jazz. Been a rough last couple of games after a couple really good games. So I think he has 3 hits, 2 stolen bases today, leading the way. Devin Williams rebounding from the other day, nailing down the save. So it's 7.5 total. Yankees plus 145. So there is value there against Skubal. So give me the Yankees in the over in this one. And this is going to be 110. And I believe, this is Yes Network. I think Wednesday will be on Prime.
Oh, really?
So you want to get this one, get this middle game of this series so you have a chance tomorrow to win it. So that's what I got. Yesterday was tough, but you're on to today. And you just want to see those adjustments.
Yes.
And because I know I was out in the hallway. Did you go prediction on the Mets today or no?
I did go prediction on the Mets today.
And just refresh me.
What did I say? I think I said like 5-2. I said 5-2.
In Holmes's line?
Holmes's line, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 hits. I'm gonna go 9 Ks. I didn't get the Ks in there last time, but 9.
9,
yes,
really?
Dude, yes, I do think so. Dude, that changeup, it's going.
Wow,
that's right.
All right, so let's see what happens and let's pull up the grid. What are we doing?
Oh my gosh, that's right, dude. The grid. It's definitely since baseball season's in like literally full swing now. I do forget about the immaculate grid every day. So I'm just so dialed in on the games right now, like it is, especially Rangers being almost kaputs, basically kaputs, dude. All right, so we got our grid here. Let me share it with the folks. Here's our grid. Bang, dude. A's, Cubs, Giants. Not a ton of teams involved here, but we do get 300 career home runs, 200 hits from the Cubs as well. This is a little tough. I'm not gonna lie, dude. A's, Cubs.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Tony Kemp play on the Cubs?
I am not sure, but I could help. Let's see. So for the 200 hit season for the Cubs, let's do Starlin Castro.
All right, Starlin Castro, 200 hits, dude. There we go.
Oh no, wait. Oh yeah. For some reason, the way you were spelling it was making me think you were putting Marte, and I was like, easy.
Is it not?
It's Starlin.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, Starlin. There it is.
7%.
7%, not bad, dude.
And then let's see here. So
200 hits, 300 home runs, career batting. Obviously, Sosa definitely did it.
It was for the
Cubs.
Right.
Oh, why you're doing?
No, I was thinking about the center field one.
Oh, sorry, center field.
But no, I mean either way.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think a little, outside the
300
box
home runs,
here.
Center fielder.
But also though, actually, I'm thinking about this: 200 hits, Giants, Bobby Bonds. 8%.
There we go. Bang.
And let me see here. So I'm just trying to think. I was trying to think because I think a lot of people wouldn't think about center field, but I'm just trying to think if Bernie had 300 home runs.
I have no idea.
Or was it 200 hits? But also we could just do some other stuff first. But and then so 300 career home runs maybe for the Giants. Willie McCovey.
Willie McCovey throws a career home runs for the Giants. There it is. I like that one.
What was it?
19, dude.
I think though Mays and Bonds would have been far greater, no?
I would say far greater. Yeah.
All right. So A's, Cubs. Oh, A's, Cubs, Rich Harden.
Rich Harden.
Ian.
Richard. Oh, there it is.
4. There we go.
Not bad.
All right. And then does Blade play center for the A's?
Center field.
Or Ruiz? Ruiz had to have played center with that speed.
I don't know for sure. Do you know for sure?
I mean, I don't know if I'm up on my
Let's see if anything in the comments right now. We have no comments, dude. No one's
MIA.
watching
Swami,
us, dude.
supposedly.
Swami.
But we could think about A's Giants for a second and the 300. Andre Dawson had to have 300 home runs, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, let's go Andre Dawson. Dre, not Drew. And just before you do it, see how many years? How many years is this? Oh yeah, he had to have 300. Go.
All right, you sure?
Yep. I thought it was
12%. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be right on. Oh man.
What's the word?
A's Giants.
I think there's so many.
It's so
honestly.
funny. Yeah.
There definitely is. Santiago Castilla. Casilla. ILLA.
There it is.
How about that?
0.8.
How about
What
that?
a good
Ernie
one,
would be
dude.
so proud.
Ernie would be very proud. That was a great one, dude.
All right. So the A's in the center field. We know Damon did it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ruiz had to have played center. It's just gonna be so annoying if he didn't. But right? I mean, what's our other? What? Did Terrence Long get a game in center?
I don't know. This one is like beyond me, honestly. The one game center field, like I can't.
I feel like just go Ruiz. I'm gonna be so tight if it's wrong, but
First name
Estuary.
It is Estuary. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
5%. Got it. In.
All right. Can't believe where's everybody at?
I know, right? You're killing it, dude. You're killing it. All right. 300 career home runs, played center field, minimum one game. And 200 hits in a season. 200 hits in a season is a lot.
Okay, but 300. Okay, let's just think about this. 300 center field. Just do Judge.
6%.
Not bad.
I guess because I guess people wouldn't think Judge, huh?
Yeah. So we're down to the 200 hits. I mean, we could do Ichiro. Maybe not everybody thinks about him in center.
I would think not many people
Just
do
do
at
it.
all, right?
Yeah. 29. But what was the score?
92.
We had it before then. Pretty good. But still, a grid's a grid.
Grid is a grid is a grid is a grid. Ichiro was the highest guy we could have went for.
Wow.
John Lester, A's Cubs. It's a good one, but obviously really high.
Yeah, too high.
That's too high, dude.
Do we do what would it be? Saturday's grid?
Oh, I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
That grid was a little tough for me. Saturday was.
I guess that one, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, okay, but we Negro League we can't
play. Yeah, that's kind of wild.
I don't get why they do that. So now we're just kind of left with. Oh, but that would be Friday's grid, right? We
yeah, Friday. We did do Friday on the train, didn't we?
But did we get it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Remember the both of us did it.
Okay, so then just do a different
one. Let's see. I don't know what this one is. 728. All right, Miami Cubs, Braves, Texas.
Starling Castro, first one.
Shortstop.
Shortstop,
dude.
Nice.
Oh God, dude.
Marlins, Rangers, Pudge Rodriguez. What? Are you kidding me? Like that's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
That's nuts.
100 RBI season, Jazz Chisholm.
I don't even think he had 100.
I don't think he did either, to be honest, dude.
But let's see.
Stanton.
So, shortstop for the Cubs, and then the shortstop with the 100 RBI. Derek Jeter had a 100 RBI season.
Just one?
Yeah. 12%.
12%. Jeter.
Okay, so 100 RBI. I'm just trying to think who else had it besides Stanton.
I don't know.
Cubs, Braves, Soler.
Jorge Soler.
2%. Okay.
That's great, dude. Cubs shortstop 1 game.
I don't know why I'm like blanking on this, right?
Dansby Swanson.
Who like
Javi Baez?
No, but there was somebody like
yeah. Like who was before Baez?
Castro probably played short. Could have had that one, right?
Yeah, probably. Lance Johnson.
Hey, could you clarify, JD? Is this for the Cubs shortstop?
Is this Cubs shortstop, dude? Or maybe this is the
go back to this though. We got this though. Besides Teixeira, Tony, for Rangers Braves, Julio Franco.
Franco.
Yes, there we go.
Is that from the
You
comic?
had it. I don't know why.
A double I. 4%.
For some reason, I thought it said 40.
Oh my gosh. 200 hits center fielder.
Oh, so that was for the other one. Thank you, though, JD.
Thank you,
Appreciate
JD.
it. All right. So the 100 RBI season for the Braves. Ozuna.
Josh Donaldson? No. 2%. There we go.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
Okay. Rangers shortstop. Cubs
Michael Young.
Shortstop. Yeah, Michael Young. Young of the Michael variety.
10%.
10%, dude.
Nice, clean and tidy.
Yeah, dude.
Come on, Tony. You've been watching Marlins. I don't think Ozuna had 100 RBIs.
I don't think so
or
either.
Yelich.
Definitely not.
But like somebody did Jake Berger.
No.
Ernie?
Josh Bell?
I don't think so.
Didn't he hit like 30 for them though?
I just don't think he had 100 RBIs. Comments?
Comments? No. Definitely.
Big G, yeah. I feel like Big G is gonna be 85
probably.
But all these Mets Marlins games, like Ernie on the dial.
I mean, when have they ever been great?
Oh yeah, well Miguel Cabrera, but they're probably both 100%. I can't believe I don't remember who played shortstop for the Cubs pre Dansby Swanson. I mean, I guess just do Baez, I guess. I don't know. Right? We already have a 40%. We're already.
You think it'll be lower than Swanson, you think?
Yeah. But also, wait a second. Who was he their shortstop when they won the title?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
I'm like 100% sure. Yes.
Okay, just do it. Whatever. All right, probably. Swanson was higher.
Swanson must have been higher. Yeah, it's not bad.
Marlins,
dude.
Jeff Conine. All right.
Like as in, yeah.
Right. I mean, if it's wrong, it's not on us.
I guess so. 6%, dude. There we go, dude.
What was the total score on that?
Sorry, let me see here. 99. Number 99, dude. There's a Conine on the Mets on Marlins right now, dude.
I think it might be his son.
That's pretty sick.
Yes.
That's great. Good for them. Man.
You know what I forgot that we didn't
Gary Sheffield to Josh B.
But no, we appreciate the non-Ernie comments here. You usually don't get too many of those.
Of course. Stanton was the highest, 42%.
Knew it. And was okay. So Pudge was the highest for the Marlins. I can't.
Yeah, and then Javier was the highest for the Cubs. Interesting. So Dansby was less.
That's actually crazy.
People must not think of
the Cubs.
Yeah,
shortstops. One thing I forgot that we talked about pre-show yesterday, but didn't talk about at all, was the Vlad contract extension.
Yes, dude. $500 million.
14 years.
14 years.
Thoughts?
Surprised.
Yeah.
I thought Vladdy would have had this kind of wean out some more, but obviously that guy wants to stay with Toronto. So I guess good for him. I mean, good for them. Obviously, I think the Blue Jays have a lot to work on. Pitching staff, surrounding pieces around Vladdy, and I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't think for that much money. So what is that annually? Like 35. I don't know. What is that annually?
No, it's here. I got it. It's 35.7. 0.7. Josh B with the one more.
Yeah,
Josh
I
B's
know,
beating
of
for the
course,
grid.
dude.
I mean, why do we want to talk about the Rangers losing anyway, right?
No, yeah, sure.
But
we
let's
can do more.
finish the Vladdy. Let's finish the Vladdy.
I mean, that's not like a crazy amount of money yearly
For
him.
first baseman, though, technically it is.
Yes, sure, but
And then
he's
they pointed
good. He's
to
a good first baseman.
2 out of the 6 years in the league have been good. The other ones were kind of average. But I think the biggest thing for me is, and I was talking about this with actually JD yesterday, is you need a face of the franchise. And I just feel like, what was your option if you didn't re-sign him? I guess you could trade him at the deadline, but versus what a pitcher would fetch and how much he would mean to your organization, were you really going to get the type of haul that would rebuild the organization? I think you get like an okay haul, but it would be very possible that you get 2 guys, they're supposed to be good, they're not, and then you get nothing.
That's very true. Very true. I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, Toronto could have went 2 different ways. They could have dumped everybody, and done a complete rebuild. Even if I don't know what Gausman's contract is. I would imagine it's not a lot, but like if he's doing well midseason, trade him. Bassett even, especially again, trade deadline. People are looking for pitchers. So I don't know. I mean, I think Vladdy is, obviously, I think he's supposed to play with Toronto because I don't think that offer was anything crazy where another team wouldn't give him that much. Like another team would. I think it's not. I think it's a reasonable offer for someone like him who can be a face, who honestly will probably still have a long-standing career as a power hitter.
26 years old.
Yeah, I mean he's young right now, and he is a good first baseman. He makes good defensive plays. Yes, obviously you mentioned the 2 years that were kind of off, whatever. But I mean, it happens to have down years, and you're in an organization like Toronto. It's a little bit different. So I think that's a huge get for them, huge signing.
And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure second half last year he hit 379.
Really? I mean, he was dominant last year. It was crazy.
Yeah. After a slow April. So yeah, and I mean, and then people were saying it's a indirect but direct correlation on the Pete Alonso market, because that takes away an option from the Mets. What do you think about that?
I guess it does. At the end of the day, does take away an option from the Mets. But I mean, I think not for nothing. I mean, not that I'm like, trying to predict the future here, but
they were resigning him.
I think, I mean, if he keeps playing like this, yes. So right now he's best hitter on the team right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was 376 in the second half last year with an OPS over 1,000 at 1127.
I mean, that's great. It's great numbers, dude. And again, I mean, I think that's great for Toronto. Like you said, they're going to need him. And I really wouldn't, like I said, I think he's gonna have a good career. So I think that's good for Toronto. What do you think about? You think it's bad for the division? Were you going to be happy that he'll be leaving the division?
Well, yeah. I mean, he does seem like he does always hit against us, but you know what? I don't get mad about that type of stuff just because it's like you gotta get him out. You know what I mean? And it's if you're gonna win championships, you're gonna have to get out tough hitters. So you can't be afraid of one individual.
No, can't be scared.
And then we got Hey Barnes. What would happen if you and Gary Cohen went to Tampa for a week and then Tony came along? Let's just say I don't think Gary Cohen would be talking to me too much after that trip. Let's just put it that way.
Or even on the trip.
Yeah, on the trip after he heard a couple imitations,
Met sucks,
a couple pops. It wouldn't even be a Met suck.
No,
the imitations would be overpowering. No, but that's what he would take most personally because it was a direct correlation to him.
I think Michael Buck has been, hitting the sheesh early. Yeah, drinking something.
Yeah.
You two would hit it off, he says. Barnes and Gary.
Cracking up to himself right now. He is. He is.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Tommy, before earlier Instagram said that he swears Tejada played a game in center.
I don't remember that. We could look that up. But while I'm looking it up, you want to pull up another grid because Josh B's Phoenix.
Josh B, yes. He better still be fucking in here, by the way, because I know he's a short attention span, whatever, dude. But let's get out of here. I guess let's do this one from the 29th, dude. Oh, this is the career wars, dude. This is a tough one. DH, minimum 1 game, 300 batting average, 40+ WAR, DH, 500 career home runs, DH.
I think we could do it. No,
All right, dude. Let's do it.
you want to start it off?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, played left field, been in one game, 300 career average. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? But I mean, someone who's not like obviously.
We played one game left field.
One game left field, career average of 300.
Yeah, this is actually annoying.
Like played minimum right field career batting average
300. Did we just do a different grid?
And that's kind of what I was alluding to. Yes, dude. So let's do this maybe from the 27th, dude. All right. A couple AL East teams in here, man. 200 hit season for Pittsburgh. I got Andrew McCutchen. Did he have 200 hits for Pittsburgh?
No, I don't think he did.
Really?
No.
Josh Bell? No, Josh Bell definitely didn't.
Do we just go just
Roberto?
go a different one though? The
Pirates. Really, dude?
I think we did this one because Boston Pittsburgh seems familiar.
It does seem kind of familiar. All right, we'll go to a different one. This is from the 24th. Oh no, now we're getting into ones we did already. Oh boy, so this is it. You try to push your luck here. Let's try this one play now, dude. This may be one we skipped here. Oh, first round draft pick.
Let's skip that one. We have a high standard here.
Gotta brush up on your first round draft picks. This one says play now, but I want to say we skipped this one. First round draft pick again, dude. Yeah, see, we really avoid that one. I guess we're gonna go down. We're gonna go all the way down. Let's go. Oh, the 28th edition, Rookie of the Year, MVP, dude. You want to avoid Rookie of the Year as well?
One more time.
One more time?
How could it be though? Like three eggs in a row like that.
Well, because those are the ones that we skipped.
Yeah.
So it obviously, or the ones that, I guess the ones we just didn't play. Anyway, there's a 29th edition here. MVP, Rookie of the Year. They were really hammering that, dude. But I mean.
Well, I know we could do the Yankee Rookie of the Year, but.
Mike Trout, Rookie of the Year. A's Rookie of the Year.
A's Rookie of the Year. Just go one more, Tony. There's no way that the next one can just be like just teams. Nice and easy.
Dude. I know we haven't had one with just teams, dude. Let's see. 1, 2. No, 29th. We're gonna be on to the 30th edition here.
It seems like we could do this one.
Cy Young, All-Star. All right.
R.A. Dickey for the Mets Cy Young, right?
It's probably the one that's gonna be the least. R.A. Dickey. Bang.
13.
13's not bad at all.
The Cy Young for the
Padres.
I mean, I'm trying to think like who else besides PV. Darvish. I don't think wasn't he with the Cubs or no? Or he was with the Padres.
Oh shit! Now you got me thinking about it. I thought he was with the Padres.
Let's just think about it for a second.
Snell.
Snell was probably high.
You think it'd be too high? I mean, that's pretty
Snell
recent.
Or PV. I feel like Snell even.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just go down. It'd probably be 35%, but whatever.
Like Snell, 33%, dude.
And then I would. I'm trying to think of anybody else for the Diamondbacks won the Cy Young besides Schilling or Johnson.
I was gonna say Johnson. That's kind of all I got. I'm not gonna lie, but who?
I don't even know if Schilling did. I don't know if Schilling did, but it's gonna be so high. And then trying to think about random Mets All-Stars.
Luis Severino was one.
He made the All-Star team last year?
Yeah, didn't he?
I don't remember. You remember?
Pretty sure we talked about that last year.
All right, it's on you.
Oh shit, dude, this would be kind of crazy.
A sea of red.
Fuck, dude.
Sea of red, dude.
We literally could have get with so many other people too, dude.
I said it was on you.
It was on
I guess
me.
one more.
I really thought it was Severino, dude.
Just pick a better one, dude. Come on. I think
these grids are tough, dude.
But the ones where we haven't played a bunch of them in a row, do those. Because I think the other ones, the reason why we haven't played them is because they were bad. I think.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to go from up to down, bottom up. So, I mean, I'm gonna see what 31 looks like.
No, wait.
Silver Slugger?
Yeah, we could do this.
All right, dude.
Greggy too high.
Michael Waka. Zach Greinke would be too high.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Did Walker play for the Angels?
No, do Napoli for the Angels and the Red Sox. Walker didn't play for the Angels. 5%.
Nice, dude.
And then let's see here for a second. The All-Star for Kansas City, Mike Sweeney.
Nice, 3%.
And then was it Jermaine Dye for the Silver Slugger for
Kansas?
Or did we mess that up last time? Is it Moustakas?
I feel like we messed up Moustakas.
Wasn't that the 300 hitter or something?
I definitely remember picking Moustakas and it was wrong for something.
Yeah. Ernie.
I feel Jermaine Dye is. Come on.
And then the Silver Slugger for Boston, I guess, Mo Vaughn, right? 3%.
3%, dude.
The All-Star for Boston, Papelbon.
Oh. 1%, dude. There we go.
Okay, so Tampa and the Angels. Hideki Matsui.
Nice, dude.
And then let's see the
All-Star
or the All-Star for
Tampa
the
Bay.
Rays. They've had some closers.
Ryan Yarbrough?
No. I'm trying to think who's like been their closer recently.
I got nothing.
And then I forgot, did we botch it? Did Wander get it? I feel like he did, right?
I would think he did.
Yeah.
I don't think we've botched that.
Okay, just do it.
Wander Franco. 6%.
Okay.
There we go. Silver Slugger.
Kansas City, Dye, Moustakas, Perez is probably high, right?
Yeah. G-Man Choi?
No. I think he might have made the All-Star team, though.
I think he did, too.
Okay, so Silver Slugger.
Eric Hosmer.
Put it on Josh B.
Yeah, why? You don't believe it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh,
8%.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Josh B.
Raul Ibanez,
Raul
for KC and
Ibanez, dude.
Put it on JD.
Hell yeah.
1%. There you go,
dude.
JD.
There we go, dude. The old guys know.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that facetious, Tony?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
All right. So the old Silver Slugger for
Tampa Bay.
Besides Evan Longoria, I'm just trying to think, like, was it Greg Vaughn? I'm trying to think who even else, like, hit a bunch of home runs for the Rays.
Yandy Diaz.
I don't know if he was a
not.
Silver Slugger.
Carlos Pena? Probably not.
I don't know.
I
mean,
like
we could just go with Longoria. We don't have any high percentages on this one, right? But it's probably.
I know. I'm trying to
so
be. Yeah, this is like a pretty good one.
Any help from the comments there? He says Pena.
Carlos Pena.
Put it on Josh V.
Well, it'd be half and half, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Carlos Pena. I used to work with him at MLB Network.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Here he is. Carlos Pena for the win. Dang.
13%.
13%, dude. Not bad.
Pretty good grids, though, honestly. I mean, the
Pretty
one
good grids.
snafu, a couple bad selections, but we
Yeah, dude.
are good.
Can't stand his ass. Oh, wait. No, I'm
Who?
sorry. I thought he was talking about Carlos Pena.
Dave Sims. Okay.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
let's just take a quick trip before we close up to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. Great hit. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Drink one. Made the full split save. Oh,
Are you kidding me? Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights!
Oh, right, dude. Yeah, I didn't even make a lower third for the Rangers score last night. But I think it's worth taking a trip around the NHL. I mean, hey, man, it's still hockey season. Playoffs are going to be sick. But we know the Rangers dropped the game 5-1 against the Lightning, which really fucking pisses me off, obviously. And I think at this point, listen, they just played a terrible game. Poor Igor Trocheck. Dumbass turnovers in the zone, dude. -2 on the ice because he fucking Mika the one goal, dude. On the power play, I think it was, right? Deflected goal. Yep. Gave up 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Suck a big fat Michael Buckta. So I don't know, man. I mean, take a look at the standings at this point right now. You have the New York Rangers in a tie for the second wild card spot with the Detroit. That's the Detroit Rangers. Just now, the New York Rangers in a tie with the Detroit Red Wings at 79 points apiece here with 4 games left for the Rangers, mind you. So they are back 6 points of the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens have been playing some solid hockey. They've won their last 5 games in a row, which is why they're in the second wild card spot with a 6-point lead. No games in hand, by the way. So, I mean, realistically, Rangers need to, for the next 4 games, win out, right? So that'd be the That'd be the 8 points.
Yep.
Which would be very hard to do. So I think Washington's in there. Toronto is mixing them. Maybe.
Oh, but they have 5, right? So 10. Would it be 10?
Okay, there's 5 games left. So all right, so it'd be 10 points, let's say, but then the Canadiens need to lose out,
which is not going to happen.
Which is probably not going to happen, dude. I mean, the Canadiens are playing for a wild card spot, and they're playing their very good hockey right now. I just mentioned 5-game win streak. St. Louis got them buzzing, got the boys buzzing over there. So, it does seem very unlikely. And again, I mentioned, that schedule, which is approaching rapidly. They're playing the Flyers here tomorrow. Here is in the Garden. I mean, they're at home against the Flyers. So, I mean, like that obviously, you could say is winnable, I guess. And then they play the Islanders, which you could say is winnable. But they finish their season with Hurricanes at Carolina, at the Panthers, back home against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, are they going to win these last 5 games, dude? No.
No. That's why, I thought it was over, a couple. It was over, but the Devils lost. I mean, it was over.
Michael said it. Really wanted to watch the Rangers in the playoffs.
And
why?
I know you're different with this, but it is tough for me, especially like a year like this. It's not like losing to the Devils in the first round a couple years ago. It's tough for me to get wrapped up in the playoffs, honestly, just because it was that disappointing of a season.
It definitely was tougher maybe than most years.
I think toughest. No, but you wouldn't say toughest ever. Just given the expectations going into the season.
No.
Just to completely whiff.
Toughest ever. Yeah, I guess maybe. Sure. I mean, I guess you can chalk it up as toughest ever. Maybe 2015 was the toughest ever. Mm-hmm. To follow through. But I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously super tough. I'm gonna try and pick a Western Conference team.
The Oilers.
Definitely not the Oilers.
But I'm saying with the Rangers out, like this wouldn't be the year for the Oilers to do it. Like, why are you against them doing it? Just because they haven't done it yet. But
I don't think that the biggest thing in the Oilers' way, though, would have been the New York Rangers. It's probably not even a team that come out of the East, let alone if it is Washington.
But why don't you want to see them do it, I guess is what I'm asking.
Because I think there are teams that are better deserving.
Who comes to mind?
Winnipeg, for example.
Winnipeg.
Right now. Winnipeg does right now. And I think they're another Canadian team who deserves it, to be honest.
But being against no Rangers, you want it to be a Canadian team. It's been a long time, right? 20-something years?
Since someone won it. Since they won it.
Yes.
Yes. It has been a long time. I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if it was Dallas. I wouldn't be upset if it was LA, to be honest, too. We've been talking about the Kings a lot. I mean, they're a team that I enjoy following right now. They have a lot of good players in the team. So I wouldn't mind that team, even though it's kind of ironic. Yes, they beat the Rangers in the Cup final. We know, dude. And obviously, just for the sake of argument, for the sake of the record being broken, if Ovi did win another Cup this year, that would be good. That would be solidifying him as really one of the greater hockey players of all time.
But does he need to be solidified? I mean, being the number one goal scorer, I mean, isn't that solidified?
I mean, sure. I think that the argument is there, though,
That he hasn't won enough.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that personally that's a bullshit argument. He has his entire career with the Capitals. Like, it's not like he was going to other teams.
Right.
Like, he stayed with the Capitals. He wanted to be there. He stayed in Washington. You got to respect that. And he did win one for them. And he was very much a huge part of it. And he's been a huge part of that team for his entire tenure of 20 years, whatever, 21 seasons, however many, 20, whatever seasons. So I don't think it's a good argument, but I do think that having him another cup will help his argument. If he has two, like that's pretty crazy.
And who, I mean, is there anybody that is, I mean, I know it's just like Wayne has always been just so far ahead, but that is like thought of as like the second best hockey player?
I mean, Gordie Howe is up there
Bobby
for sure.
Orr.
Bobby Orr, certainly with the Bruins. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mario Lemieux. Also, Yager is regarded as pretty high up there as well. But I would say those are like your main four. Ovi would make that five, right? Like those are the guys you kind of think of.
Yeah. And remind me again, you were saying, I was just thinking about this with the Edmonton. Sorry. No, but what?
The flan,
why
dude. Why they're not deserving? No, I think it's not that they're not deserving.
Yes.
See, you always like.
You did say that though. I think you did say there.
I said there are other teams that are more deserving.
The other teams more deserving.
Well, I think Winnipeg, for example, has had a better year in the regular season. And they're a team too. I mean, I feel pretty bad for Winnipeg. They've had some really incredible talent going in and out of that organization. And not for nothing, right now they have the best goaltender in the league, arguably, in Connor Hellebuck. And that line, Kyle Connor is doing a phenomenal job. Back in the day, they did have Patrick Laine. Blake Wheeler even went up through that organization as well, former Ranger great. So I think just, Jordan Eberle, I think was a name on that team as well. So just growing up, those were guys that I guess watched. I was maybe a little attached to as someone who, had seen them in passing, whatever. And then, these last 2 seasons, the last 3 years, I mean, they've been a team that's falling short in the postseason. Like just as much as Edmonton was, to be honest, just as, obviously Edmonton making it to the Cup final last year, falling short, Game 7. Yes, we know. But people forget, I mean, Winnipeg, they beat Winnipeg the first round, right?
Yeah.
Winnipeg, again, was another team that had a better regular season than them, that was putting in the work all year long, and did succumb, I think, in 7 games also, if memory serves me, or maybe it was, I'm trying to remember. Damn. The memory, dude. But in any case, I think they deserve it, dude. More so than Edmonton. And honestly, I would say Dallas as well, to be honest.
Dallas, please.
Ottinger is great. Hey, they're a great teim. They're probably the third best team out of the West. They are a great team.
I mean, it would justify it. That's for sure.
I mean, let's look at the standings here. West Coast. Yeah, they got 105 points, dude. I'd rather see the Golden Knights do it. I'd rather see the Kings do it. I'd rather see the Avalanche win.
Ridiculous.
You would rather see the Avalanche win over the Oilers?
No, I'd like to see the Oilers.
Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, lead the league in points.
They won already, though.
So what?
I think
I like watching McDavid fail.
Well, will he fail? Will he not? We'll have to find out.
Draisaitl's been out too. I don't know. Well, Draisaitl, dude. I don't know, man.
He'll be all right.
Really, dude. Right. 2-game losing streak without Draisaitl right now.
Yeah. But no, they'll be all right. He'll be all right. But we got a bunch of games. So let's do a Tuesday edition of the Frozen Frenzy.
Bang, baby. And you know the deal. This frenzy is brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. Let's get it started. Tuesday, April 8th. I didn't get the slate. I'm betting it's kind of big, to be honest, because we didn't have a ton of games yesterday. And this Tuesday is a pretty hefty slate, mind you. Let's get it started here. The Sabres, all right, teeing off, Brian, against the Hurricanes. Obviously, Thompson having tremendous year, 70 points, 43 goals, leading the team, dude. Sabres out of it. Carolina in it. Buffalo, though, watch out, looking to make this their 5th win in a row. What do you got for this one, dude?
Carolina.
Yeah,
5-0.
chalk.
Tired of the Buffalo. Oh, they look better. No, they don't. It's the end of the season, playing out the string, whatever. But they're going to get embarrassed at home. Another season without the playoffs. Carolina in the under.
I'm going to go with the Sabres here. Carolina, even though they're a great team, tough on the road here. 16, 18, and 3 on the road. Sabres solid at home, 21, 14, and 3. Like I said, Tage Thompson doing really well in these past 4 games, helping the Sabres get the dub. So I'll say give me Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and the boys here. He gets the shutout. Sabres win 3-0. It's 5 in a row for Buffalo. The sauce, baby. The sauce. The sauce, dude. Next game. Let's go to Canadiens. Montreal playing John Pollock's Detroit Red Wings. If the Detroit Red Wings want any stab at the wild card, they have to beat Montreal here. It's basically a do or die, and that'll also help out the Rangers if they win here. Montreal coming here at -135, over under 5.5. Montreal, I mentioned, they're on the 5-game win streak. Detroit playing better. They just beat Carolina and Florida, outscoring those two opponents 6-4. So Detroit, 2-game win streak here. What do you got here for Detroit on the road?
I am going to go with Montreal. If they're going to get the playoffs, why not just get it? It seize the moment. Marty St. Louis ready for the moment. Exciting game, under game, but I think they win 3-2. Canadiens in the under.
I'm sorry, John. I'm going to go with Brian here. The Canadiens winning. I think it'll be the over. I think Canada, even though they've been scoring a ton in their wins recently, I think this one they can bust open. I guess I'll say 4-2. Let's keep it 5-2. Give him one more. Wayne Hudson maybe has a better game than he has recently. So Montreal and the over, unfortunately for us, keeping it moving here. Florida, a Panthers team matching up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. This could be a matchup we see in the playoffs, potentially the conference final. Who knows here? Florida, -145. Over under is 5.5. Florida not playing their best hockey. They're on a losing streak to the sum of 5 games here. Toronto looking to make it a 5th win in a row as well. Seems like the 3rd team in the NHL trying to do that. Toronto humming still?
Yeah. Mitch Marner, maybe 100 points this year, sitting at 94, Tony.
Hey now.
I think a goal, and I think 3 assists. I think a high-scoring game, 6-5 in overtime. Marner, game winner. Leafs in the over.
I do like the Leafs call here. Again, I'll say it all the time. They play great hockey, regular season, playoffs. Watch out, baby. They beat the Panthers. I say it's a dogfight. I'll say 3rd period, game-winning goal. Nylander, maybe middle of the 3rd there to make it 3-2. Leafs then hold on. So give it Toronto, and then that'll be the under right there. Keep it moving. New Jersey plays Boston here. The Rock, Ryan. The Devils here, obviously, in the playoffs. Bruins out of the playoffs. New Jersey -260, over under 5.5. A game that doesn't really mean much, but the Devils, we're going to get some momentum going into the postseason, trying to make it 4 in a row here. Are they doing that?
Yeah. Bruins, shambles. Pasternak maybe 100 points this year. But the Devils are riled up. The dominant win against the Rangers. I think a dominant one here. How about match the dealer, Tony? 4-0 at the Rock once again. This time over the Bruins. Devils in the under.
That's interesting, dude. Matching the dealer here. See if he hits. A lot of odds on that one. But I agree with the Devils win here. I think Boston can keep it chippy, keep it tight. Swayman can play a little bit better maybe. Even though Markstrom has been playing out of his mind this year for New Jersey. So I say lower scoring Devils, keep it neat, 2-1. I guess give me Jesper Bratt with the game-winning goal there, but it's a gritty, maybe a fight or two there as Boston is last in the Eastern Conference. Next game here, let's go to Columbus. A team that was once holding a wild card spot now finds themselves 8 points out of one, which is very interesting. 3-game losing streak for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They have dropped 6 of their last 10 games here. They're playing Ottawa, a team that really has their spot solidified in the first wild card spot. I can't speak anymore due to a long episode. Ottawa -120, the extra immaculate grids here. The total being 6.5. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Ottawa. I think they're ready for the playoffs here. And I'm going to say Kachuk, who looks like he's going to be back from injury. We'll say 5 points. How about that? 2 goals, 3 assists, 6-3 Ottawa in the over.
Oh, that's right. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, dude. Give me Ottawa in this game. Doesn't matter who. The score is going to be 5-1 Ottawa and the under. Next game here, we're moving along, chugging along here. We're going to Pittsburgh, actually, as the Penguins are taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Meaningless game here. But obviously, you have your boys, the Penguins, who are looking to, finish out the year strong. Chicago plus 175, over under 6.5. Is Bedard pulling the upset?
Yes.
No, Al.
Yes. Yep. Late in the season, he just reached that 60-point plateau. 20 goals, 40 assists, kind of round numbers will get unrounded, but to his, satisfaction, let's say 2 goals and an assist, 3 points for Bedard. Blackhawks with the upset, 4-3. Blackhawks in the over.
I'll go Penguins. Keep it at chalk. Doesn't really matter. Again, dude, meaningless game. Penguins 3-1. Chicago kind of sucks, dude.
Donna, have a great day.
Donna, have a great day.
She was just saying goodbye.
Aw. All right, so next game here, we're moving to the 8 o'clock time slot here in Nashville. The Predators take on the New York Islanders. You want to think about playoff implications. Islanders technically still in it, a point behind the Rangers here. Obviously, Nashville is not. The Islanders coming in here working on how many wins? 2, dude. That's why they're minus 125 on the road. Over under 5.5 is another chalk city game.
I think this is Nashville. Nashville with the victory here. I heard Trotz was on ESPN Radio over the weekend.
Really?
Talking about a lot of veterans. Expect them to be better.
That's right.
But a lot of things to consider in the offseason. But I think to get the win here, I'm gonna say 3-2. Forsberg game winner. 5 seconds remaining. Regulation. Predators in the end.
Islanders 6. Predators 4. Islanders in the over. Let's go to our next game here. It looks like we'll be going to Dallas, a great team out of the Western Conference, playing the Canucks here at 8 p.m. in Dallas. Vancouver, another team out of the Western Conference here that had the wild card in their sights. Now they find themselves 8 points outside of the wild card. We know the, storylines coming out of Vancouver. What I'm looking for, the drama, I guess you could say, coming out of Vancouver. They're plus 165 here on the money line, over under 5.5. Dallas, only 8 losses in regulation this season at home. Is Vancouver going to make it 9?
Vancouver is not going to make it 9. And your team that's so deserving, so much more deserving than the Edmonton Oilers,
that's right,
wasting the cup. I guess they win. Let's see. Money where their mouth is. 29th victory of the season at home. 6-3 Stars in the over.
I love that call here. I think when it rains, it pours offensively. I'm sorry, Vancouver, but not playing great hockey, dropping of the 4 of the last 5 here. Minnesota. Dallas losing to Minnesota in overtime, looking to snap a 2-game losing streak right now. I say they do it in an emphatic fashion. I do like a 5-spot scored by Dallas, maybe 2 up by Vancouver. Dallas and the over is your final there. Last 2 games of the night. We're moving late night, 9 p.m. now. Let's go to Utah, where Brian once was recently. They're playing the Seattle Kraken, another game, another match that doesn't really matter in terms of playoff contentions here. Utah, minus 230 on the money line, over under 6.5. Utah heavily favorited here, Brian. The Kraken, though, on a 3-game win streak. What do we got here tonight?
Utah 3-1. Utah. In the under, Keller, 3 points, a goal and 2 assists.
Utah, dude.
Utah.
Yeah, Seattle sucks. People giving me shit, by the way, talking nicely about Capo Caco on TikTok.
He sucks.
Go fuck
suck.
yourself.
He's terrible.
Career high 42 points.
Oh, wow.
A year.
42. Is that the NHL record?
Well, I'm just saying it was
Is
to
it
my
the record, though?
No, obviously not. That's
Okay, I
ridiculous.
just wanted to make
dude.
sure.
It was breaking fucking records out here, dude. Give him a point and assist, maybe. Utah, though, wins 4-2. Keep it in nice and neat. Utah at the under, dude. Last game here. 2 powerhouse teams coming out of the West. Both teams more deserving to win this cup than the Edmonton Oilers. You can find these 2 teams Western Conference Finals potential here as the Vegas Golden Knights are visiting the Colorado Avalanche here. This is going to be a great game. Your game of the night, no doubt, here. from the DTV Bros. Colorado minus 130, over under 5.5. What do you got here?
I am going to go with the Avalanche. I think great game, overtime game. It's interesting. High scoring game, low scoring game. This is going to be, I'm going to go with the low scoring, in betweenish though. Maybe not 3 goals, but 5. And I think it's 3-2. Cale Makar, overtime game winner. So we're going to go Avalanche and the other.
I love the call there on the Avs. I know it sucks. Again, like you look at the regular season series, it's tied at 1. A 7-game set will probably go 7. But give me Colorado here, winning the late night game, dude. Thank you very much.
About deserving.
Absolutely delivering everything I need here. Just like Colorado delivering the dub in regulation.
David,
Nathan McKinnon, baby. Let's go, baby. 115 points. McDavid can't touch that shit this year.
How
Fuck
revealing
off.
and telling
Give
was
me
it when
Colorado
he says,
winning 4-3. Shaq Eichel, 2 goals. What's up, dude? Colorado and the over.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's just like that. That is your Tuesday edition of the Frozen Frenzy.
Listen, some people want to see others fail. All right, listen, if McDavid was on a better team, they'd be winning the cups. Like that's just what it is. All right,
that's
dude?
what it is.
I mean, obviously not.
No, but I don't know if he'd just be winning cups, right?
Like if he was at a better team, they'd be winning cups. Obviously, Skinner, great year goaltending, but if they worried about defense and goaltending 3 years ago, they would have had a cup.
Yeah, no, they're such a bad team in the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Terrible.
They're
Terrible.
losers.
What a joke.
I mean, they're the biggest losers of the year, actually. Yeah, they're the biggest losers of the hockey year.
Would it be the team like the Sharks with the number 1 pick?
No. The Oilers were the biggest losers.
Right.
Make it as far as you can go, put it out on the line, and then drop it, dude.
Right. Anyhow. I think, that's really where we're at.
Yeah, that's about all she wrote, dude.
But what is coming up on the 2 for Tuesday?
Binge Buddies tonight, 8 p.m. Manny.
Lotus?
What?
White Lotus
season finale.
Disappointing.
Yes. I would say disappointing, but honestly, probably one of the better episodes because shit actually happened, I guess.
I bet the Oilers are so much better than that episode, by the way.
But, I mean, first of all, you're comparing apples to oranges right now.
You could do
But
that.
come on, dude. In any case, we'll be talking White Lotus season finale. So if you've watched that, please tune in, call in. I'll get your thoughts about it because I'm the only one watching because it's been such a bad season. Manny in studio with Michael. We're talking the studio. We're talking Mission Impossible, newest trailer. Be watching that. Manny's been watching Mobland. Mobland, I think, is a show you would really enjoy, actually, Brian.
Really?
But it's on Paramount. Who the hell has Paramount? That's the only problem about it. But we're coming at you with a lot of rapid fire news, YouTube video of the day, the normal segments, and your boys late night in the studio on a Tuesday. So stay tuned, 8 p.m. tonight, dude. Big show.
Stay tuned. And I had to say, what a great show today. A little bit of everything. And a great show coming up tomorrow. The Masters, Michael Bucket,
right,
Jimmy
dude.
Nance returning. So we'll do our full preview tomorrow as well as the Yankees and the Mets games from this afternoon. But yeah, would like to thank everybody for tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives of the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costa, and the merch at DowntimeTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Binge Buddies. Let's go, Yankees!
Let's go, Mets!
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.